Hey y'all, you want to set your child up for success? Is your child struggling with a specific subject or need help with the subject? Is your child ahead, not getting challenged enough in class? Well, IXL Learning is an online learning program that enriches your homeschool curriculum. It offers practice in math, English, language arts, science, and social studies while adapting to each child, meeting them where they are. Plus, IXL encourages students to become curious and empowers them to choose how to learn. Look, we homeschool our son. No doubt about it. He's more of a visual learner, and we use IXL, and Cindy teaches him, and there are so many different benefits to the program. It adapts to exactly what he needs in different areas. So IXL is the perfect supplement to your homeschool curriculum. IXL offers interactive practice problems, educational games, lessons, and video tutorials for every topic you're teaching at home. It's easy to use, time-saving. Everything on IXL is organized by grade, subject, topic, and subtopic, making it simple to find activities for the exact skills you're covering. IXL offers instant feedback and explanations of new topics as kids use the program. Kids can explore any topic in any grade level. They aren't forced into a single learning path like they are on other programs. If you're homeschooling your child because they were falling behind or because they were too far ahead like our son, IXL is a great program to help them get the exact support they need. Kids love IXL's positive feedback awards and educational games. IXL is trusted by 15 million students worldwide and has proven to improve performance in over 75 scientific research studies. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And Real Life Real Crime listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXL.com/today. Visit IXL.com/today to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price. And don't forget, Real Life Real Crime listeners get 20% off. Y'all, we really do use this product, and it's been a godsend.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition Smart Bed, plus free home delivery with any base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
With everyone looking to shrink their bill these days, Dunnes Stores gives you new ways to save on your shop with Double Savers. First, you'll save in the aisles when you fill your basket with fantastic low prices across thousands of great products. Then, you'll save again at the till with our 5 off 25 grocery voucher. Shrink your bill with Double Savers, new from Dunnes Stores. Dunnes Stores, always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used on next in-store grocery shop of €25 or more.
Real Life Real Crime is a true crime podcast brought to you by Woody Overton and executive producer Toby Templey.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney prior to and during any questioning. You can't afford one, the court will appoint one for you. You understand your rights?
Your crime spree was over, son. Yeah, you thought you had it licked, but Detective Overton made you should have turned to shit. Get ready, you're gonna do time. Real life, real crime.
Warning. This episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast, may contain descriptions of acts of violence or that are of a sexual nature, it should be for people that are 18 years or older. Heed my warning, people. I did not get the facts of these cases off of the internet or from some television show. The facts we're retelling you were presented to us by the victims of the crimes or the perpetrators who committed the crimes against the victims. My description of the crime scenes are what I saw with my own 2 eyes. If you're gonna get offended, please turn this podcast off now. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. And as always, I'm your host, Woody Overton. And I just want to take a second and tell everybody thank you for all the likes and the sharing and telling your neighbors and everybody else about Real Life, Real Crime. Y'all are the ones that help us grow. And again, today, I'm using this new equipment, so I'm not in the studio. I apologize ahead of time about any audio problems or what have you. Toby will do the best he can to fix them. I'm also going to be doing a phone interview today, y'all. So, if the audio is a little messed up, I apologize ahead of time. That being said, stay tuned at the end of the show for some announcements. And I'm a little bit under the weather. I have a really bad sore throat today, but not COVID, thank God. But with that, we're going to get started. And I don't even have a name for this episode, y'all, so just hold on, and I'm going to introduce you to my guest. Amanda, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all, I was working on this other case and that I've been working on for a couple weeks, and that's what I was going to go with this week. But today I was reached out to by a lifer who said, by private messenger on Facebook, who said that I'd been mentioned numerous times in this group, this private group on Facebook. And so I asked to join the group, and I found out what it was about. Now, this is going to be hard to hear, but if you think it's hard for you to hear, think of how hard it is for this family and what they're going through. And this is raw and unscripted, but I believe the story needs to be told. We're not trying to sensationalize anything, or I just feel led to do this. And I've spoken to Amanda just briefly about the situation. And so we're just going to take it step by step. And so bear with us. Amanda, can you tell me your name?
Amanda Canterbury.
And where are you from?
Ponchatoula, Louisiana.
Okay. And Amanda, I know this is hard for you, okay, but y'all, Amanda had a tragedy happen in her life this year on January 1st. Is that correct?
It is.
Okay. Can you tell me, first of all, you're married?
Yes.
And at the time, you had 2 children?
2. Yes, sir.
On January 1st. And can you tell me about your 2 children?
I have an older son who is 12. His name is Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my second, who is Caleb.
And that's Caleb, C-A-L-E-B.
C-A-L-E-B, yes.
Mm-hmm. And so can you tell me about Caleb? Just anything from your memory when he was born to what kind of child he was, and just tell the listeners about Caleb.
Caleb was a baby who made being a mom very easy. He was always happy. He enjoyed being around us as he grew up. He was the light of our world. When he would walk in a room, he would smile, and his smile would just change everything, just make any bad day good. Caleb came into our life, and Caleb saved us. Caleb came during a really dark time for me. My mom was dying of cancer. When Caleb was 6 months old, my mom passed away.
Sorry. And
Caleb was just my light. Like, I don't know, Caleb just...
It's okay, sweetie. Take your time.
He was just happy. He knew it was crazy that he was so little, But he was so smart beyond his years when he would wipe my eyes and tell me, Momo's in heaven with Jesus. And not to cry, and that we would get there one day with Momo, and I would tell him, no time soon, Caleb. That's no time soon. And unfortunately on New Year's, Caleb got there quicker than any of us.
Okay. And we spoke probably 20 minutes before this, right? And then I was glad to get you on the phone and tell Caleb's story. But before we get into all what happened, tell me how Caleb felt about police officers.
Anytime Caleb saw a police officer, if we were in Walmart or if we passed him on the road, he would always point him out. But when we were in stores and he could get to one, he would always say, Mommy, let me out. And I would let him out, and Caleb would run, and he would say, excuse me. And they would turn around, and Caleb would put his little hand out to shake their hand, and he would tell them, thank you for your service. And he made very proud. I was very proud of him. And
he's 4 years. He was 4 years old, right? 4 years old. That's crazy.
Yes.
And what did you tell me about the school crossing guard?
Yes, he would roll. I would let him, once we got in the carpool line, where traffic was not, I would let Caleb unbuckle and climb out of his seat and come to the front so we could say his good morning prayers every morning before school. And he would notice that the police officer, that cross guard that would let direct traffic, was there, and he would roll his window down every day as we passed, and she knew we wanted to be in the front so he could go straight to his class. And we would stop for a second, and he would always say, good morning. And she would say, good morning. He would say, thank you for your service. Every morning, without fail, he had to tell her. Oh, that's awesome. And you said y'all prayed every morning before he went into school? Every single morning, he would wake up, and we had the same little prayer that he had memorized, and he would pray it every day. And part of it was for God to, he would say, Jesus, protect me and keep me safe all day. Yeah. Oh, wow. I don't know what to say about that. It's beautiful. Didn't you say you were sending me a video off of Facebook that somebody? I did. I sent them to you. Can you tell me real quick just a highlight on that? Okay. When you would ask Caleb, if you would say, Caleb, why are you so sweet, or why are you so cute? He would always tell you, because Jesus was in his heart. And you sent me the video of that? Yes. So little baby knew Jesus, right? Yes. Oh, he did. He told everybody about Jesus. That is the one quote everybody remembers Caleb by, is because Jesus is, when everybody talks about it, they say, because Jesus is in my heart. Like, Caleb put Jesus in homes that may have not have spoke of Jesus in a long time. Because when you thought of Caleb, that's the one thing you thought of. Was that recording of him saying, because Jesus is in my heart. Wow, that's beautiful. And he's a happy baby. And oh yeah. What was his favorite thing to eat, or did he have several at 4? He has several. He liked going, if we were out to eat, he loved Chinese and Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, and Texas Roadhouse. Wow. Yeah. Texas Roadhouse, he wanted his steak and applesauce. He at home, he just ate whatever I ate. He was one that didn't want his own plate. He wanted anything out of mommy's plate. Yeah. And how was your 12-year-old with him? Oh, they were best friends. Jeremiah actually asked me for years for a sibling, and I was always like, no, I'm done. I don't want no more. You're it. And when we found out about Caleb, I think we all he just came and just changed everything for the better. He was just perfect. He was just that perfect child that I used to tell people his whole life that if I could have sat down with God and had a conversation and said, God, I want this, and this quality in a child, I would have built Caleb. He was just perfect. Oh,
I don't know what to say about that. Can you take us to January 1? Y'all wake up and what happens that day?
So we wake up and start the day like normal. I make his breakfast, and he wanted to eat out on the back porch that morning. So I put him at the table and he ate. And then, of course, he ran and grabbed his Spider-Man when he was done. He was our baby Spider-Man. Like, if you see him, you're going to see him in Spider-Man costume. Yeah, he was in Spider-Man all the time. He solely believed he was Spider-Man when he put that costume on. He was brave. He tried to do.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Actually, part of that day was before we left to go pack up the last boxes from the house we were moving, because we had just closed on a house to move. His dad climbed up in the attic of the new house that morning before the incident happened, and Caleb was like, "Daddy, can I come up?" And I asked my husband, I said, is it safe? And he said, yeah. And Caleb got up about 3 steps, and I think he noticed how high he was, and he looked back down. And when he looked down, I said, "You can go, baby." I said, "Mommy's right here, and I'll never let nothing hurt you." Oh. And his little legs were shaking with his little arms, and you could see how scared he was and nervous. But with each step, he just kept going, and he made it to the top, and he just looked down with the biggest smile. Oh. And he said, "Mommy, I made it." And I said, "You did." Jeez. And he was so proud of himself that day for doing that. But so we got dressed and went to the old house to do the last loads. And my car was stuffed. So Caleb said, "Mommy, can I stay with Daddy?" And I said, "Well, ask Daddy. Make sure Daddy's not going to be busy." And he said, "Daddy, can I stay with you?" And my husband said, "Yes, yeah, buddy, that's fine." And Caleb said, "Daddy said I could stay." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Make sure you listen to Daddy. Be good, and I'll be right back. I love you." And he said, "Okay, Mommy, I love you too." And he was sitting on the toolbox in the back of my husband's truck, and I drove away. Well, my husband went to check because he was going to take the RV because he travels for work. So he checked the propane, and they were empty. So Caleb went and got his shoes on, and they went up to BDCO Supermarket in Ponchatoula and went to go fill the propane. And he dropped the propane tanks off, and he went back in, and he walked back out, and the lady said, "You forgot to pay for him." So he said, "Come on, Caleb, let's go pay." So they walked back in, and they paid. And they walked out the door to get him, and he looked, and Caleb was walking to the truck, and he said, "Wait, Caleb." And my husband went off behind him. And at that moment, a truck flew by, and she hit Caleb.
Okay. And what happened, sweetie?
Sir?
And what happened then?
So my husband called, and so ambulance, all the ambulance came and stuff. And my husband called me, and I didn't answer. Unfortunately, I was unpacking the car. And I finally looked down at my phone. He texted when I got in the car to head back over there to get the bigger things. And he said, "Caleb's been hit by a car or a vehicle." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Caleb's been hit by a truck." And I said, Is he breathing? Is he okay?" And he said, "No, he's not breathing."
And then what did you do? You drove over there?
So I got to the store, and when I got there, I was met by police officers that took my name and my relationship to Caleb. And I asked them to let me see him, and they said I couldn't. And apparently by the end, a paramedic said I could go see him. I said, "I just want to kiss him. I just want to give him a kiss." So when they got him on the stretcher to airlift him to University in New Orleans, they let me kiss him. And the police officer who worked the case, I guess, walked over to the lady that they let us leave with Caleb. And it wasn't but 5 minutes after we drove off that my son got there with another police officer, and the lady drove away. Like, they let her drive away in the truck that hit Caleb.
Wait. Okay, so let me interrupt you and ask a question to clarify it. You got there and you saw Caleb and you were able to give him a kiss, but they were still going to airlift him to New Orleans.
They were airlifting him. Yes, once they put him on the stretcher, they were airlifting him to New Orleans.
At that time, the vehicle that hit him, first of all, it was a truck. I know this because I looked on that group today. When I got the invite, it's like a real low rider truck.
It was from what my son watched her drive, actually leave the store.
Your son is a 12-year-old?
12-year-old, yes.
Okay.
Jeremiah watched her leave, and the truck.
Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glaze, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, and all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
The truck was so low, he said, like, you could see sparks fly from the front of the truck. That's how low it was.
Right. Like,
so it was very low.
Like a low rider.
Yes.
With those ground effects and all that, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's back up for a second. What was the responding agency, police agency that took your name and all that? Who worked the scene?
Tangipahoa, Sergeant Bridges.
Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
Sergeant Bridges, okay.
Yes.
And you're telling me that y'all went to leave. Did the driver, the driver ever come try to say anything, or did you?
She never made contact. She never. I mean, it's been 8 months, almost 8 months. We've never heard from her. We've never got a letter the day that it happened. She never ran over to check on Caleb. She stood by her truck.
Okay, so and correct me if I'm wrong, but when she ran over Caleb, what is the reason that she stopped? Is it because of people were banging on her truck?
Well, my husband actually, before she ran Caleb completely over, my husband was banging on her truck to stop her, and she wouldn't stop. She continued to go, and then people ran up to her, and they're like, "You hit a kid! You hit a kid!" And that was when she claimed she knew she had hit Caleb.
Okay, and so she did not stop of her own free will. Was that so? During the process of Caleb being hit, your husband is banging on the truck saying,
"Yes,
stop,"
trying to stop her before she completely ran him over.
So I mean, your husband was right there, and he was
within feet. I mean,
right.
I mean, she was right by the front door of the store.
And your husband tries to get her to stop. She's not paying, for whatever reason. She didn't stop. She continued to run over your son.
She hit him with the front tire, and then she still didn't stop and ran over him again with the back tire.
And then she continued on, and people were
then people stopped her.
They weren't going to let her go because she ran over a baby.
Right.
All right. And then so did the sheriff's office say anything to you or anything other than take your name?
Other than take my name, nothing. They didn't. I had yet to hear I didn't even hear from them to get the police report. I looked at my email address and just so happened to see Caleb's name in the subject, and I double clicked and opened it, and it was the police report.
And I read that today. Didn't it say the police report actually said that he had no injuries?
No injuries, and they also had that she was driving a tractor.
Yeah, oh my God. Okay, y'all, this is why I wanted to do this story. You know how I feel about bad police work. Okay, you know from Courtney Coco's case, you know from Rat Pete's Burning series, etc. Now, I want this story. This part needs to be known, and something needs to be done. So let's start with the police report. You don't get contacted. Nobody. I mean, obviously y'all were at the hospital when they told you that Caleb was deceased.
Right. The doctors told us Caleb was
deceased.
With
them.
Yes.
No detectives ever showed up.
They showed up at the very end as we were leaving. Okay. There was 2 ladies that showed up.
And what'd they say?
They didn't say anything to us. They just went to get pictures of Caleb for record.
Okay. But they don't even talk to you.
We were all in a small room together, and the 2 the 2 ladies walked out and walked to Caleb's room.
But they didn't say, they didn't introduce themselves to you or anything?
No.
It's not sorry for your loss or
as far as I remember, nothing. I mean, nothing was said.
Okay.
I mean, that day is still.
I understand. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just you and I have not talked about these parts. And
they came to I do remember seeing them sitting in the room. We walked in the room. I know I was crying. Of course, obviously, I was an emotional wreck. And I remember watching them walk out. But other than that, I don't think they spoke to us at all.
And after that, and that's January 1, after that, you had no contact with anybody from Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office?
Never. And then on February 28th, I checked my email address and had the police report in there.
Okay. Now let's talk about that, because this is where people, nobody likes to talk about a baby getting killed, okay? But this is where sugar's going to turn to shit for somebody. It's going to be, this is what y'all would got me in saying the story needs to be told. The one thing on there, they have a section talking about injuries, and it could be, it's pretty descriptive. I get 4 or 5 different boxes, but the guy checks that Caleb had no injuries. Now, when you saw him, did you see any physical injuries?
Oh, Caleb, there was blood everywhere.
Okay.
He had blood. I mean, it was coming out of his nose. It was coming out of his ears.
But the police officer checks no injuries.
No. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then secondly, he describes the vehicle not as a truck, not as a car, but he checks the box for what?
Well, he didn't check. He put that she was driving a 2005 Ford 8000. So I Googled what that is. And it's a tractor.
Wow.
That she was driving a tractor.
Okay. And this is that same sergeant?
Yes.
So no injuries, but you said baby Caleb was covered in blood. And, then he lists that she's driving a tractor. And, okay. I mean, okay, y'all, let me digress for a second, Amanda. Let me tell you how it works in Louisiana, y'all. If you get into a crash or you hit somebody in a parking lot of a store, it's considered, basically, if I back into your car in Walmart parking lot because it's private property, technically my insurance has to pay for mine and your insurance has to pay for yours. So I understand. Normally, on a fatality, especially of a child, the agency can call in the state police, who are experts at working fatalities. They'll be able to tell you, they could do accident reconstruction, tell you approximately how fast the driver was going when they hit Caleb. They could tell you, certainly they would have done, they would look for any signs of impairment, or whether it's DWI, whether it's alcohol or pills or whatever. For the state police to come in, the agency has to request them to come in. Well, guess what? If I was in uniform patrol for the sheriff's office and baby got killed, I'm calling in the state police because I know enough to know what I don't know. All right. And which is, I worked a lot of crashes and a lot of accidents, but not that many baby deaths on kids that got run over. So I don't understand that. But that's their choice, and we'll leave it at that. But then to add further insult to injury, and then you can jump in, Amanda, on it. Okay, you tell me what they found out about the insurance and what was put in the report about the insurance, et cetera.
So the day that we got the report, come to find out the insurance that was listed did not belong to the vehicle that actually hit Caleb. That was the complete wrong insurance information.
For them to get that insurance information, though, that deputy had to get it from them.
So right? From what I've heard, from what they have said, it was another case that he worked on, that he just had the wrong case information on Caleb's report.
And then again, another case he worked on, I guarantee you it wasn't a death of a child. So I don't know how you screw up. You probably at the time is the biggest case you ever worked involving a fatality. But go ahead. So
we finally get the correct insurance information sent over about 4 days after we found out that it was wrong. And the vehicle that hit Caleb actually had no insurance at all. There was no insurance.
So no insurance.
So not only, she broke, like I tell everyone, she broke the law that day, even putting that vehicle on the road.
Right.
And didn't even get a ticket.
Right.
And drove that vehicle away from the scene.
Y'all, let me tell you this. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly how it is today, but I could tell you back in the day, if I stopped you and I ran your license plate, or if I ran your license plate for whatever reason, dispatch is going to come back and tell me the vehicle comes back to such and such, registered out of such and such. It is or is not insured. They have it in the database. That's why they have the insurance law. So I wasn't there, but the only logical conclusion to me is he didn't run the license plate.
He didn't at all. I don't believe he checked anything. I doubt he even checked her. I don't even know if he checked her license to see if she even gave her real name.
Do you know if the vehicle was registered in her name?
It was not.
Okay, because if your insurance is suspended, then they suspend your license. That would have been another charge.
Yeah, the vehicle was not in her name.
Okay. And so the vehicle has no insurance. She didn't get a ticket for that. What's happened?
Nothing. We just finally met with the sheriff last Friday.
Sheriff Edwards
last Friday. And I asked him, how did she get away with not having insurance? How did she just get to drive away from the scene? And he didn't have answers. He said he was going to talk to his sergeant that worked the case and that he would get back to me with answers that sergeant had. And we haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything back yet. And that was on August 6th that we had that interview with him.
And today is what? The
17th. So we're 10 days since our interview.
10 or 11 days, right? Yeah. And now I understand the sheriff's busy. I know Sheriff Daniel Edwards, but that's a long time when you got a grieving family to not get an answer, right? Yeah. It doesn't take 2 seconds to pick up the phone and call your sergeant and say, what the hell happened? What's going on here? And
well, from my understanding, the sergeant told him that he didn't run the insurance, that he just looked at the card and it said it was active from this date to this date, and he took that.
Okay, so can tell me about that. That's what the sheriff told you?
Yeah, that's what the sheriff said, is that he looked at the insurance card that showed it was active from, I don't know, to whenever. I don't know the dates. He didn't tell me what dates, but he just said that the sergeant looked at the card. It said active from this day to this day, but she never paid her premium. So it actually got turned off on November 12th of 2020.
But didn't you say he had to call his sergeant to find out something?
Well, yeah, he was going to call to make sure that the insurance wasn't, and then he was going to ask him why. Why is it not? Why did you not run it that day? Why did you just take the card and say that it was active just because of the dates on the card?
I don't even know what you say about that. Did he say anything else? What about were there witnesses that saw this? They said the vehicle was speeding.
Someone watched the actual surveillance video, and said that there were 3 other people walking out of the other door, and would they not have been watching out for her, she would have hit them. Like they watched out, got out of her way, not her watch for the pedestrians trying to get to their vehicles. Right before she hit Caleb.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And
they said that when she pulled out, she accelerated. There was no disregard for anybody else in the parking lot. She was gone.
You mean when she left after the cops let her go?
No. Before she hit Caleb, they said she just accelerated. She pulled out of her park. She was backed into her parking spot. She pulled in and just hit the gas.
I see what you're saying. So
yeah, she just
took off. She just took off, right?
Yeah.
And then the other 3 people would have been hit.
Would they not have stepped out of her way?
They got out of the way, and Caleb steps down and gets hit.
Get hit. Yeah. Yep.
Did they do field sobriety or any type of testing?
Nothing. She had no toxicology screening, no field sobriety, no blood tests, no nothing. They said that unless someone shows impairment or something like that, that's the only way they do it. And being they didn't believe that she was impaired, they did not do it.
Well, I can tell you this: any fatality the state police work, whether you're impaired or not, showing signs of impairment or not, you're going to get a test, and usually it's a blood test.
Well, I just recently, I don't know if you saw, but in Tangipahoa Parish, there was a motorcycle accident, and they said that the driver that hit the motorcycle showed no signs of impairment, but a blood test was sent off.
Absolutely, and
so same parish.
That dog doesn't hunt for me. I know better. I mean, shit, y'all. This is a fatality, and if she's speeding, exactly, and a fatality of a child, of an infant, and if she's speeding, okay, so Louisiana, the statute for negligent homicide, which is what this would have been, unless they did the blood work and come back and all that. But at the very least, if she was speeding through the parking lot and gunning it out like the other people said and the video shows, then a negligent homicide is defined as when you show such little care or reason that a reasonable person, caution that a reasonable person would use, and you cause the death of somebody, that makes it a negligent homicide. If in fact they have this videotape and she's gunning it out of the parking lot, almost hits 3 people, and then she hits Caleb, your husband's banging on the truck for her to stop, and she continues to go, and I mean, that, I don't know. Have y'all talked to the district attorney or the sheriff?
The district attorney's never gotten the case. He's never seen the case.
That's right. And you know what? He wouldn't. So I take that back. Right. He wouldn't unless
there was charges.
Unless there was charges. That's right. But not necessarily charges, because it could be they could send it in to him to look at it, put it before a grand jury. But they haven't turned the case file into him, period, is what's saying. Right. And I guess what? The report that I read where it's now, you're telling me they listed it as a tractor, and it's saying he has no injuries, and now you find out evidently they didn't even run the license plate. What if that car was stolen? What if that truck was stolen and they didn't run the license plate, they just write it down, and if they'd have run it, it'd come back with no insurance. And I mean, that's how it used to be, unless they've changed it in the last 7 years or whatever, which I don't see why they would.
Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's HAPPYMAMMOTH.com and use code RLRC. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Mochi. Mochi is a telehealth platform that connects patients seeking medication-based weight loss treatment with board-certified doctors and dietitians to help them determine the best treatment options to accomplish that goal. Mochi's program is completely virtual, meaning you can access their services anywhere in the United States and you will be meeting with their team online. You deserve doctors that listen. Mochi is dedicated to providing holistic, patient-centered care that prioritizes overall well-being with the goal of transforming how weight management is approached. Mochi Health takes a holistic approach to weight loss that includes visit with board-certified doctors, nutrition consultations, and medications delivered to your door. Science-backed medications including GLP-1s like Ozempic and generic compound versions, affordable and accessible, regardless of insurance coverage. With Mochi, their dietitians work hand in hand with your medication to create personalized nutrition plans that fit your lifestyle. Reach your weight loss goals with science-backed, FDA-approved GLP-1 medications and support from real doctors and guidance from registered dietitians and help with making easy and sustainable changes to achieve results. Y'all have seen this. My wife has done it. My brother-in-law has done it. One of my best friends is doing it, and it really is an amazing process that works. So get started at joinmochi.com and use code RLRC to receive $40 off. That's joinmochi.com and use code RLRC to receive $40 off and let Mochi help change your life. If anything, it would have gotten, the system would have been better improved. But so again, I wasn't there, but it sounds like it didn't even run the license plate, which means that could have been a stolen vehicle, could have been swapped plates, it could have been anything. And you're telling me there's no field sobriety, no blood work, which we know if it's fatality, at least on the roadway, in you're involved, you're getting tested, period, whether you like it or not. And none of that was done. And you've got nobody. You had to reach out to the sheriff. Nobody contacted you after Caleb got killed.
I haven't heard from no one until I asked for a meeting with the sheriff to find out why was no field sobriety test done.
Hey, this is August. I mean, yes. It was August. That's 8 months.
Yes. Of nothing. We never heard, not even we realize y'all lost, we're sorry. There was just never nothing from no one.
Yeah. And
not even the person that hit him. I mean, she's never even reached out.
Yeah.
Just to, our address was all over Facebook. People bringing food, people doing this, people, offering to come clean our house for us. And I was like, no, but our address was there that she could have sent, and, not even with her address on it, but just sends a letter just to say, I'm so-and-so. I just wanted to say I'm sorry.
Anything.
If there's anything I can do, not that it would bring Caleb back, but just a sign of remorse that you feel bad for what you've done. And there was nothing. She just, nothing. She didn't. I think I put myself in with a sober mind and a normal thinking that if I was in her shoes, because my first thing, this was my first thing after it happened, was my first thoughts, and I told my husband, I said, I need to find this lady, because this is me thinking of how I would feel.
Right.
I need to hug her, and I need to tell her I forgive her. That was my first thoughts. But then everybody was like, no, let all the evidence come out before you do that. And then once everything came out, I just got angry with her. You shouldn't have even been on the road that day.
Right.
That it changed me because as I think of myself, if I was in her shoes, I would have ran to that baby. Right. That would have been my number one thing, to run to that baby and tell the father how sorry I was. And I would have been an emotional wreck. But from what everyone has told me, she showed no hardly any signs of emotions at all. Like there was hardly anything.
And these are the witnesses that you talked to
This
that were
is
there.
people that were around. It says she hardly had any signs of remorse, any, she wasn't, not like most people would think you would be after you found out that you hit a child. It was just pretty much just, she gave her information and she left.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. It's mind-blowing. I don't know. Do you know if they're in possession of the surveillance tape? You said somebody's seen it.
Yeah, someone's seen it, and then I have a copy on an SD card, but I've never watched it.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Well, that's going to be. I mean, obviously the police probably don't have it because those surveillance tapes. Most of the stores after 30 days they rewrite themselves and re-record over.
Well, no, the way I got it was the police sent it to someone, and that person gave that copy to me. So I don't know if they gave them the original or if they made a copy.
Okay, but that's good. At least they got a copy, or maybe the store gave it to them that day or something before they left. But and then it's hard. And I'm not trying to sensationalize. Y'all, let me tell you something. The very few people know that I had a brother who got ran over and killed when he was 7 years old. So yeah, this touches my heart, and I've never tried to sensationalize any of my stories, and I'm not trying to sensationalize this, but we need to know, and I want you to get angry, and I want you to get pissed off, and I want something to be done about this. What did they tell you? I mean, can you tell me what they told you they saw? I'm not talking about the impact. Okay, that's the same one. Is that the same person who told you that, or did they see the vehicle pulling out of the parking spot, or what did they see on the surveillance?
They saw the whole thing. They saw the 3 people step out of the way of the vehicle traveling. They saw all of it. And
they said it appeared to be at a high rate of speed.
Oh, they said that she was going way too fast for a parking lot. They said she accelerated. I mean, his exact words were, when she pulled out, she accelerated and just took off without looking. I mean, just no disregard for anybody in the parking lot that day.
And then she killed Caleb. I mean, I'm so sorry.
I wish everybody could have met him. I really wish everybody could see just truly how amazing this little boy. I mean, I know he's mine, and I know everyone thinks their kids are, perfect.
Yeah.
I really wish people could have met Caleb, and the group on Facebook that you're a part of, that you joined. I try so hard to just give people a glimpse into who Caleb was.
Yeah.
Because when you see his videos and you see and you hear the things he says for a 4-year-old, and like everyone says, he was so wise beyond his years. He just, so happy in his videos. He's always happy. He's laughing, smiling.
I got goosebumps.
He was very, very special. He was a very special boy. I tell everybody we definitely lived with an angel on earth. Yeah. He was perfect.
As a parent of 4, I don't know what to tell you. But do you want to share the group on Facebook? I know it's a private group, but
yes, we can share it.
The only reason I'm saying so because I know the fans that listen to the show will go and request to join so they can, if they will choose to, so they can see Caleb's videos. I really would love them to see the video where he says he has Jesus in him, or that somebody asked, smiling. And so if you want to share it, share it.
Caleb's group on Facebook is Justice for Caleb J. Canterbury. It's Justice for Caleb, CALEB, the letter J, and then Canterbury is CANTERBURY.
And y'all, it's a private group, but I actually, Amanda, I think you might get flooded on that, but I think it's important that people, we can talk, I can
tell you all day about him, but until you get on there and you see him and see his smile
and I did see him in all the Spider-Man stuff and everything too, so which was pretty cool because
Spider-Man's probably my favorite superhero.
Actually, Spider-Man came to his services, and Spider-Man led the procession. His last birthday, his 4th birthday, was a big Spider-Man birthday, and he went for a year telling everybody that the real Spider-Man came to his birthday. We got in contact with the same company, and Spider-Man came. He came to his service, and he led the procession out and led him. And Caleb went out in his Caleb was Spider-Man when he went out. He was dressed in Spider-Man.
Lord.
He wore.
So he's buried in his Spider-Man outfit.
He's buried in Spider-Man. Yeah, he that's what he would want to. Everything he did. He lived, breathed, and ate Spider-Man. He just not too long before he passed, he was jumping on the trampoline and tried to jump to the porch like Spider-Man, and he accidentally missed the porch and caught his face. And he said he was more upset that he didn't land it like Spider-Man than that he hit his face. That he said he needed to try again, and I said, no, you don't.
Oh man, boy.
He was so just tough, and he just. I don't know. I just wish people could have met him. He was so amazing. He was truly our little blessing and our little angel.
Yeah. And well, as a parent, though, I think you're doing the right thing, and at least questioning and pushing the fight. And the page is called Justice for Caleb, but
yes.
the even if you don't get the answers or whatever, I don't know, but you know what? It just needs to be looked into, period. And I think the way to do it is to get the story out there, and that's it. I mean, I had no intentions, not even 8 hours ago, of doing this or anything, right? And so I sent you a private message on Facebook because people kept tagging me, and I said, let me know a good time to call or whatever. And I got to talk to you this evening for about 20 minutes. And I said, let's just do this. And I hope it helps, sweetie. And I hope that I'm going to pray for y'all. And I mean, I just don't know what else to say, but I think that, lifers, we need to share the story. And the questions need to be asked, and somebody needs to be, hey, if you got a legitimate answer, and look, I'm going to tell you something, Danny Edwards is a good guy, the sheriff is. I know him personally.
And he was very sincere when we came in. I believe wholeheartedly he was sincere.
You know his brother is the governor, right? Did you know
yes.
that? All right. And so his brother's governor of the state of Louisiana, and I knew his wife before she got on the bench, and she was actually a juvenile child judge at first. I don't know if she still is, but that was a long time ago.
I think so.
But so I'm not saying that Daniel is at fault, but I'm saying 10 days, 11 days to get back to you. But I think we need to, let your voices be heard. Let them conduct an investigation. They can, if they have the video, if they want to, they can call in the state police. They can try to reconstruct it and see how fast, whatever.
Just
whatever.
Something. At least put in some investigation. Nothing was done. Why didn't you at least try to investigate?
You deserve that as a citizen, not only of the parish, but and the state of Louisiana, but as an American, whatever, right? I mean, and you deserve that, okay? And then, do you have anything else you want to say?
I don't think so.
All right, well.
I think that's it.
Well, I appreciate you doing this, and hopefully it'll help, okay? And
Thank you.
And then hopefully it'll help, and I think that you're going to find out that the lifers are pretty, I don't even know the words described, pretty freaking amazing, I guess we'll say, when it comes to stuff like this. But I mean, if we can do something that, bring some pressure around to make them at least do an investigation, that's a win.
Right.
All right. So
thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. And you have my number now, 24 hours a day. If I don't answer, leave me a voicemail, and I'll call you when I wake up or whatever, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. God bless. Bye. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. It's a tough one, y'all. Tough one. And the little boy loved cops so much. And then the Spider-Man thing, I didn't know about. I mean, I knew from seeing Spider-Man on the Facebook group, etc. But I know Spider-Man was at his last birthday, and Spider-Man led his funeral, and he dressed as Spider-Man. God, it's just tough to hear. But here's my deal. You've heard me say it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. I bleed blue. I back the police 1,000%. But there are good and bad in every profession, and I don't know how in the hell, first of all, that you put on a fatality of a child's report that he has no injuries. Secondly, you get the vehicle wrong. It comes back to a tractor. And third, you don't run the license plate, or you don't validate insurance or whatever. I don't know. I'm not working this case, but it needs some coverage. So I think Danny will do the right thing, and Sheriff Edwards will do the right thing anyway. But I mean, what do you do? What do you do? So do with it what you will. And I'm going to conclude this episode, and I don't have a name for it. I don't even know I guess call it Spider-Man or something. I don't know. But in closing, a couple real life, real crime announcements. Y'all, our app is still in the works. It's going back and forth between Apple and the company and Google and whatever. I mean, it's coming out like any day. They keep making small changes, but when it comes out, we're going to have to take at least a week to get everything straight, and that's going to mean no episode. So I'm going to let you know when that's going to happen. I will release something for Patreon that week, and we have the new thing that we're implementing for Patreon members, Woody's Verdict, which is where, because y'all always are asking me, my opinion on this case and that case, etc. So I'm gonna start doing once a month and putting it up for Patreon in the vault, Woody's Verdict on one of the cases that y'all pick by popular demand. I'm gonna review the case, and I'll do an episode on it, and that'll be in addition to the other bonus episodes I put up for y'all. And Patreon Vandalism Up, you get it the episode early as I can. You get it before anybody else gets it, and commercial free. And now our lowest tier, you get it on Saturday commercial free. So I appreciate your support. Without it, Real Life, Real Crime wouldn't run. I love all lifers. You can't be a Patreon member. You don't want to. I get it. And I love you anyway. Please continue to like and share and download us. It's not going to be a problem when the app comes out, because everything Real Life, Real Crime is going to be in one spot. But I appreciate y'all. And if you own a business and you want to advertise, we have so many different options, and we're having some mad success with what we're doing. And we do it on the national level every week. We can do it on the small business level, if you will, every week. And also the app is going to have some spots in there. We'll talk about that later on. But tough deal today, man. I had no idea when I woke up this morning that I was going to be recording this, but there it is. I don't know. All that podcaster shit I'm supposed to say, and my head's kind of jammed up behind Spider-Man. And but that's it. I'm going to conclude this episode. One of the last things, y'all, that my lifer is a dear friend of ours. They have their own podcast called We'll Figure It Out, Adulting and Parenting Over 40. Y'all go give them a check. They're on Anchor, and I think Spotify, etc. So yeah, check them out. And last but not least, LOPA, Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency. Be a hero. Give the gift of life. And it's just important, y'all. Take 2 minutes. And if you're a listener from Honduras, you can still go to lopa.org and sign up to be an organ donor. It's free. Takes about 2 minutes. And they are saving lives every day. So that being said, I'm Woody Overton, your host of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. And until next time or ever, don't let me catch you down on Murder Bayou. Peace.
Get ready, you're gonna do time. Real life, real crime.
Real Life Real Crime is a true crime podcast brought to you by Woody Overton and executive producer Toby Templey.